red telephone boxes are an iconic symbol of English culture, and they are a familiar look on the streets of the United Kingdom and British colonies like Bermuda, Malta or Gibraltar. Let's take a look at the history and the intriguing new purpose. The first telephone box, introduced by the United Kingdom Post Office, was produced in concrete in 1921, and it was the so-called K1 or kiosk number 1. However, the British did not seem to be satisfied with this design. Some local authorities didn't give permission to build them. For example, Eastbourne Corporation insisted that they could only be installed if they had thatched roofs. Also, the officials in London didn't accept the design to be built on the streets of the city. Therefore, in 1921, a competition was held for the best design of a new national telephone booth. The design that was selected by the judges was submitted by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott. Now, at the time, he was a trustee in Sir John Soane's museum. John Soane was an architect who designed his own tomb before his death, which you can see in London in St Pancras Old Churchyard. And perhaps Scott, when creating the iconic telephone booth, was inspired by that tomb. The post office decided to build the new telephone boxes in cast iron and paint them red, even though Sir Scott suggested silver. They first appeared on the London streets in 1926 as K2. Over the years, some small changes were implemented, but the overall iconic look stayed the same. They were widespread across all British Empire. The secret to their success is hidden in the design. They are quite sturdy, being largely made out of cast iron. The color red was an excellent choice. You can spot them from a great distance. And the glass walls allow you to see whether they are free or not. Also, you have the caption telephone, which informs you what are these for. And you have a little crown representing British government. So they are quite sturdy and practical, but at the same time they remain very elegant. They remind us of the principles of Victorian architecture. At the time there were tens of thousands of them built, and to this day in the UK around 10,000 of telephone boxes remained. But recently the number was rapidly decreasing as nobody uses public telephones anymore. In fact, for example, in New York, in this year, 2022, the last telephone booth was removed and placed in a local museum. But that's not the case in Britain. Apparently, in the UK, local authorities can buy one of these little used boxes for just £1 and adopt them and give them a second life. Some of them are used as little local libraries where you can swap books. Other ones became small art galleries, as it was the case with the town of Settle in North Yorkshire. Many of these telephone booths are also repurposed as a place for public defibrillators, which can be accessed only by following instructions during an emergency call. And some of them even became coffee shops. That way, the telephone booths are once again used for a good cause, but more importantly, they are here to stay.